Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Today is Friday, May 22nd. Can you believe it? Just a little bit longer and this month is over already. It's crazy. Welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching on the replay. If that's how you found me today, I appreciate it. Today I have some really cute cards for you. One of them would make a great Father's Day for your dad, of course, or grandpa, or your son. It's just a cute one about kind of taking some time off. So I think it'll be really cute, and it's a fun gatefold. So a fold, I'm not sure that we've done that particular fold before, so it'll be fun. Happy to show you something new, maybe new for you. Not too much housekeeping this week. I have a couple things to show you. But before we get started, remember that each week I make up extra kit packets. So these kits get shipped to everyone who places an order from Friday through Monday. When your order is over $35 and you use a host code that I will show you in the video, you'll receive today's cards. These were from last week, but you'll receive a kit with the everything prepped to make today's 2 cards except for stamps and ink. And you can use whatever you've got at home. But you can also earn it for sharing the video, commenting on the video on my Chickstamper page, my Create with Carol group page, or even on YouTube where this will post later on today. So just a reminder that I always post a free tutorial on Friday afternoon on my blog, which is chickstamper.com. And you can print it off and make the cards with product that you have at home. So if you want to do that, you can change it out obviously to different designer paper, whatever you've got. But I wanted to give away the winning packets from last week. So my winners that I drew this morning, and these are again people who shared or commented, things like that, are Kathleen Zuckerman. So congratulations, Kathleen, and Joanne Smith. So thank you so much, and congratulations, Joanne. Ladies, send me a private message with your address, and these will go out for you on Tuesday. Monday's a holiday, so we'll ship them out on Tuesday for you. So congratulations again, and thank you. I appreciate it. I wanted to show you a couple things, but I think I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down. I'm using a different setup today. Last week, it was very wobbly when I would stamp, and so I didn't like that. So this week I've changed things up, so I'm going to point the camera down, but it might take me a little bit to get you going the right angle and everything. So hang on just a second. And certainly I apologize if that's too much for you there. Let me see where we're at. And what I wanted to show you, very exciting, that we have our brand new catalog. It starts June 3rd, but I wanted to show you our 5 new in colors that we have that are going to be in that catalog. Aren't they gorgeous? So this is called Bumblebee right here on top, and then we have Just Jade, Magenta Madness, Cinnamon Cider, isn't that scrumptious? And Misty Moonlight. These 5 colors I am so in love with. In fact, if you're planning on attending my retreat this summer, which begins August 20th, that's my goal right now. My thought is to use these 5 colors in our pillow gifts and things like that. So you might see a little more of these pretty colors because they're gorgeous. So speaking of the new catalog, I wanted to show you. This is the front cover, and some of you have received this in the mail from me. Others are still waiting. I'm sorry, it's coming. I've ordered them through Stampin' Up, so they've been shipped. That's really all that I know. But if you weren't on my list, meaning if you hadn't purchased from me in the last 6 months, I'm happy to send you one. So again, send me a message and let me know your address, and I can pop one in the mail on Tuesday for you. So I can't show you the inside yet until June 3rd, but I will tell you that next week's Facebook Friday projects will be from this new catalog. So I'm really excited about that because it's gorgeous. Lots of fun stuff in there. Okay, I think that's just about it for our housekeeping. Today's projects use the Timeless Tropical stamp set and coordinating dies. I've also used a few other dies, the stitch shapes and the stitch nested labels dies as well in our 2 cards today. I just thought it would be fun. This particular stamp set and its coordinating dies are returning in the new catalog, which again goes live June 3rd. So let me just show you a couple things here. The embossing folder, the coastal weave, is not returning, nor is the designer paper, nor is the braided trim. So if you want any of those things, you need to see if they're available and get those ordered. But everything else, the stamp set and dies, you'll be able to still get. Okay, so I'm just looking at my view here a little bit on my computer. So I want to make sure that you can see everything. So I'm just going to adjust that a little. Okay. So a couple things. Let's see. Our first card today. It says, may your birthday be memorable. So it uses that fun braided trim, uses the designer series paper that goes with this suite, and that gorgeous coastal weave embossing folder. It's just so fun, so cute. This card, I think because I use the pink and coordinating pink flower, maybe it's for a girl, but you could certainly change out the colors to make it more of a guy color. We could change the flowers to this gorgeous mango color, or even the Daffodil Delight you could use. So the next card, though, I'm going to show you is definitely one for a guy, okay? So let's go ahead and make one of these. Let's take a peek. I've got all of our supplies right here. And it's such a pretty set, but it's also, the paper is gorgeous. Of course, it's 2-sided. All of our paper is. You get 12 sheets total in a pack. So that's 6 different designed sheets. You get 2 of each, but each design sheet has 2 different sides. So you truly do get 12 different sides of your paper. Okay. So what I've done is I've taken the first layer, which is crumb cake, and I've embossed it. And remember, all of the measurements you can find on my blog later this afternoon. It will post, okay? So we're going to get some adhesive on this really pretty designer paper. And I just put it right on the edge. Sometimes you'll see that I put it over a little bit, but this one, I didn't want any of that crumb cake poking through. So sometimes I like it to kind of peek a little bit and give us a little color. I just didn't feel we needed it on this card. Okay. Now this braided trim is really nice. It's kind of thick, but it's just so nice and sturdy. And I think it goes great if it's a card, especially if it's a card for a guy. But it gives that tropical feel, doesn't it? So if you, well, maybe not this summer, but I was going to say if you had any plans for a trip this summer, but maybe that's been postponed. We had a trip that it's been postponed, but we'll get to go. But it's fun to use this tropical product because it just makes you feel like you're someplace really nice and on vacation, I guess. That must be why I like it. You're taking a little break from life. Okay, so I've just got a early espresso card base. So it's just going to go right down on that. Again, a pretty simple card for us today, but I thought it was just pretty cute. I actually used this card. I had a tea meeting this week, and I used it we did something called mystery stamping, where I give them the dimensions of paper, and they can choose whatever designer paper they want. I just give them all the different dimensions, and then we all put together cards, and it's fun to see because see what everybody's mind, their brain kind of comes up with, because usually it's very different. And I told them 2 nesting squares. We had cards where the squares were separate. We had them on top. We had them kind of overlaying like this. It was just really fun. Okay, so these are both from the Stitch Shapes dies. You'll remember in that set, we have ovals, circles, and squares. These are the 2 largest of the squares. So what I did is I just took some Melon Mambo ink and the flower stamp from this. Let me get just a little paper because I want to stamp off of the paper a little bit. So let me get a little something here. Okay. So I just kind of want to make it, oh, see, I forgot that already. So what I did on this card, because I didn't want it to be that dark, is I stamped off. So I forgot, so let me get a new white square. Silly me. So if I stamp off, now my next stamped image is going to be a little lighter, and that's what I wanted. See how that works? So stamp that off. And then our last one, we'll just give it a little bit right there. So now when I come back with the words on top, in that nice dark early espresso brown, they'll show a little better. Okay. May your birthday be memorable. You're having a birthday during this quarantine. I bet it is memorable already. There we go. So now it shows up a little more, a little easier, I should say. Okay, let's put those over here. And then we'll just attach this top piece, our stamped sentiment, onto the larger square so that they nest really nice. They're both stitched, so they have that stitching that goes all the way around, which makes it really pretty. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back, but I want to make sure, because this ribbon trim is so thick, I want to make sure that I stay away from that area. So I'm going to straddle that ribbon with my dimensionals. The nice thing about thick ribbon like that is that it will kind of act like a dimensional and help give the project a little height, so I don't have to worry about having enough height in there. Let's see. Oh my goodness, speaking of, well, it wasn't a birthday, but you know how some people during quarantine are doing the car parades? We got to participate in one yesterday. Our godbabies are not babies anymore. They graduated from kindergarten. And so my husband and I, yesterday morning, we made a sign and we got to go down to where their house is and park on the side of the street, and we stood out and we held up our sign and we hooted and hollered as they drove to their school to do a little car parade through the parking lot at school with their teachers. So it was really cute and fun for us as well. So you can see on this one, I wanted to just decorate it up a little bit. So I added these dies all came from the Tropical Oasis suite. So I'll show you what I've got. I cut a few to have ready for us. And what I did is I just used glue dots, and I could have done it before I attached this brown piece. That maybe would have been a little smarter, but it's okay. I can just slide them under there. So I'll put the glue dot on the top part because I want it to just kind of slide under, and it's really kind of wherever you want. I just wanted to add something that would be a little decorative up in this corner. And then this is a different shape, a fern piece. I just thought would go in there as well. And these cute little flower dies are in there. There's three. It's a die that has 3 flowers on it, but it's all hooked together. But when you cut it out, the flowers fall apart. So it's just there to make it easier for you to cut the flowers out. So we'll just use a little glue dot behind this flower and put him right there. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I did for this bow. The bow is actually part of the ribbon trim. So what I've done is I've cut a piece here, and I've already taken a couple pieces out, but I'm going to take a couple more pieces out. And I just am pulling them apart, and that way I can just use it like twine, but it matches so well because it came directly from the same ribbon spool. There we go. So I just did 2 because I thought it just added a little something. Again, this card, I wanted it to look tropical. Again, it could maybe go to a guy if they're okay with the pink, because it doesn't have any sparkle on it or anything like that. which is very unusual for me to make a non-blingy card. But I thought that today, these cards should be more representative of what you could do for die cards. Okay, so let me trim this and just get a glue dot on the back of it. Okay, and I'm just going to cover up this little hole in here. When I put that pink flower on, that's why I didn't care. I'm not sure if you can tell that you can see the glue dot underneath, because I knew I was going to come back and cover that up. If I was using it on a different card, I might put a little bling over that hole. But there you have it. Let's stamp the inside and our envelope. Let's see. Get back that flower stamp. I think that'll be cute. I'm going to stamp this one a little darker. And then on our envelope, there we go. So this is our inside piece, especially because we're using such a dark card base. But many of you know, even with a light card base, I always put an inside piece down. That's just something that I like. But you don't have to. Especially if you have those cool metallic pins that'll write on dark colors. I like to have something nice on the inside. Okay, may your birthday be memorable. What do you think? I hope you like that one. So that's the first one. So the reminder on that one, as I forgot that first time, is to stamp off your flower first before you go and put it on the white square, okay? You could always use a little lighter color, and that would help too. Alrighty, so card number 1, let me put that aside for us. Card number 2 definitely could be a Father's Day card. Look at this, how cute is this? I think these cards are called Woodies, I believe so. So I will tell you, being a California girl, that I grew up on the Beach Boys, even though I'm from Northern California, but I still love the Beach Boys. And I've really been fortunate enough to see them many times in concert. The last one maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. So obviously the group has changed through the years, but I love that music. And so I think that's why I love this card. I wanted to show you what I did here. Part of the designer paper has these cards on it. So I just used my die. This is a stitch nested label die. And I just lined it up on the card where I wanted to cut it out. And you can see where I've done a couple holes here. That way I could put him right on the front of the card. This card is called a gatefold. And when you open it up, it says rest and relax. You deserve it. And that's why I thought it would be a good Father's Day card. So I might send it to my son. He has some palm trees in his backyard, and I thought that this would be cute. Alrighty, so should we make that one? Here we go. Okay, so this card base, again, these directions will be on my blog at chickstamper.com. This card is just 1/2 of a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 card, but it's cut at 4 1/4. So it's 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored to make the gatefold. So instead of scoring in the middle. Okay, but let's see if we can use a bone folder on these and see if we can get them down a little flatter, because they want to pop open. There we go, that's a little better. And then I cut more of the designer paper out. It's just equal sides, or equal sizes, I should say, for these side flaps. And if you have some designer paper that you want to use, I think that would be great. This is kind of a nice card design generically, so you can make all sorts of fun things with it. There we go. Now I don't have to worry about running off my paper. When I'm on the silicone sheet, it kind of saves me. All Alrighty. So when it closes, we've got our gates. Now, let's take a peek here. So these are the stitch nested dies, but you can see I put the burlap trim underneath here. Again, it gives us some lift. So this piece with the car is actually going to go on with dimensionals. But first, I want to put some adhesive down, right down the middle for that braided trim. And I just kind of want to hold it down. But then what I want to do is just fray the ends because they open up really well when you want them to. And that's kind of a cool feature, I think. And then it looks a little ragged. Again, I didn't want to use any bling on this card, so I wanted to kind of do something to judge it up a little. So this is what I decided to do. Just pull it apart. And a lot of different ribbons are flax ribbon. You can pull out and use those pieces individually. You can pull the strings out to make bows. You can try to fray it a little bit, but this one frays really well because it's braided in here. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. So this piece is going to go on with dimensionals. Again, though, just on the top and bottom so that I don't get dimensionals on top of that braided trim. Then it gets pretty clunky. And then I'm gonna put on these little leaves. What I did is I used the fern die that is in the suite, in the Tropical Oasis suite, but I cut it out 3 times with 3 different colors. So I used Old Olive, Pretty Peacock, and then I used the designer paper itself. And I want to put those under here. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the glue dots that I did on the previous card. And just put the glue dot on the front side. That way when I flip the die over, I can kind of see what I'm doing. So it might actually get in the way of this little dimensional, but that's okay. No worries. We can, if the dimensional was truly in the way, I could peel it off, but I think it'll be okay. And then this cute one is the designer paper, just to add a little something in there. And if you look at my sample, I really should have added this one first because it's kind of layered on top of everything, but I think I can kind of hide that. There we go. Okay. So then we'll attach this piece to the Early Espresso nested label. Let's move this out of the way here. And I'm just going to kind of center it. There's all different sizes. So I picked 2 that were, there's one in between this size, but I wanted some of the brown to show. Alrighty. So remember a couple weeks ago we did a fun fold and we needed to be careful that we only put adhesive on the left side. And you can see here why. We don't want to put adhesive here because we don't want to close the card. We want it to be a flap. So on this left side, I'm just going to put some adhesive and I'm going to put my piece right down here. There we go. And then I might try and move these up a little. And I can always add a little more adhesive if I wanted, because I want that braided trim to show over here. So that's a little better. There we go. Okay, pretty cute, huh? And simple. But do you see why I thought it would be a good guy card? Because it is simple, but not blingy. Okay, let's do this cute inside piece. Let me show you what I did. So the words say, rest and relax, you deserve it. So let's get those on here with some Early Espresso ink. And I'm gonna this stamped here for you. And I just put it sort of at the top, towards the top, I should say. There we go. And then the palm trees are one stamp. But look, I've got 3 different colors here. So what I decided to pull out, which I haven't used in a while, are our Stampin' Right markers. So I've got Pretty Peacock, Old Olive, and Early Espresso. So I'm going to use these to basically draw on my stamp so I can get that image. Maybe you've done this before, but it's so easy. I use just the side of the tip, which is the brush end. See how there's lines here? The thin line and the thick line. The thick side is the brush end. The thin side is more of a writing tip. So I just use the side of the brush tip, and I'm just trying to lay down that ink exactly where I want it. Now, I live in Arizona, as many of you know, and our air is pretty dry here. So at the end, I'm going to try to moisten it up a little bit with a big breath. On this one, I think I'll do the light color. Do the light color first, because if I get any of the lighter color ink on the darker pen, it won't show, versus if I do it vice versa. If I do it the other way around, I might get dark ink on the light tip. And there's no right or wrong. It's just kind of what you like. But if you go a little bit one way or the other, a little heavier or a little lighter, it's really okay. It's very abstract, but I think it's fun just to give it a little different color here. I hope I was in frame for you, sorry. So I'm taking that dark one, I'm doing the middle, just like the sample, but I'm trying to make it kind of splotchy and sporadic, not a perfect circle or anything. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of breathe heavy on it to moisten it again, because I know that with our air the way it is, that it will dry out that stamp. There you go, what do you think? Isn't that cute? So let's put that on the inside of our card. Let's take a peek. Make sure I'm on the right direction. Yep, okay. So I think I'm going to send this to my son. I think it'll be a cute way to celebrate for him. I'm sure he'll have a wonderful Daddy's Day. What do you think? Cute, cute? Let's do our envelope. And you can see I did the same thing with the palm trees on the envelope. So because I'm not going to wash this in between, I'm going to roughly go in the same place that I was. And try not to mix up the inks too much. We'll do the light green next, which is Old Olive. Get those palm fronds on here. So pretty. Guess what likes to live in Arizona in our palm trees? Scorpions. I didn't realize that, but they do. And my son's new house, he has some palm trees and he can attest to it. So he's got to be on the lookout, since he has a dog and young kids, that he can get to the scorpions before they get to anybody in his house. But they're so darn pretty, right? And you feel so tropical when you're around them. There you go. There's our envelope. I love being able to use different colors like that. It just really jazzes it up. Okay, what do you guys think? I hope you liked those today. They're just so much fun. And it's fun to do cards that are a little different. Not real girly, but typically I like pink and I love the bling, so generally those are more of the cards that you're going to see when you watch me. I appreciate it. Let me show you this week's thank you gift. So this is the thank you gift for everybody who places orders from today through Monday night. All orders $35 or above that use this host code down here will receive today's card kits, everything you need to make the card, and you'll use your own stamps and ink at home. Plus, you'll receive this cute thank you gift. So it matches the suite. This paper is part of that suite. The stamp is. And I use those same dies that we used, the stitch nested labels dies, but much smaller, right? And one of those cute little pink flowers. And it holds inside, I guess I can open it for you. Here you go. It holds a Ghirardelli chocolate. So just a fun, look at those palm trees, a fun little treat. My way of saying thank you so much, you guys. I love making these little treats for you. I appreciate you. Okay, let me turn you back up. Thank you so much. I hope it didn't jiggle as much today. Having this different setup, new setup. Okay, so next week, I'm so excited. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use those new in colors because why not? And next week, our Facebook Friday will be still in May. So the current catalog will still be current, but I'm dying to get my hands on these beautiful colors. So we might sneak into and just pretend that we're already into June next Friday. But next Wednesday is the last Wednesday of the month, and that is my Paper Pumpkin Alternative Facebook Live at 6 o'clock Arizona time, so 9 o'clock Eastern. So let me see. I've got my pretty Paper Pumpkin box, and I'll be opening it this weekend so I can make a couple of alternatives for you. I'll have the original projects that Stampin' Up! Has designed to show you as well. And I'm excited to play with it and see what I come up with. But that video will be next Wednesday night. I believe that's the 27th. So stay tuned for that. It will be right here at chickstamper.com, or excuse me, at facebook.com/chickstamper. Sorry. Other than that, I think we're set. Have a wonderful, wonderful Memorial Day weekend if you're in the U.S. I'm sure we'll all be celebrating again. It's another holiday, maybe a little different. States are starting to open back up. So whatever your plans are, I hope that you have a wonderful time. If you get a day off, yay, that's wonderful. Enjoy. Hope you get some sunshine or at least get to get outdoors a little bit. And I will be back next week. So thank you so much. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.